The day of the great rewriting. It started on a rainy Tuesday in early spring, when a bill, so dense and full of legalese that even the most seasoned analysts struggled to parse it, slid through the legislature with shocking ease. Titled the Economic Fairness and Structural Wealth Reform Act, it appeared to be another well-meaning but ultimately ineffective attempt at tweaking tax brackets and corporate regulations. But buried within its hundreds of pages were laws so precise, so strangely engineered, that they would alter society in a way no one expected. Overnight, the balance of wealth shifted, and 90% of the population found themselves, by every conceivable metric, rich. The 5 changes that rewrote the economy. 1. The Land Value Redistribution Clause. For centuries, landowners hoarded real estate, driving prices up. The new law dictated that all land value appreciation beyond a modest baseline would be directly credited to every citizen in equal shares. If land in your city became more expensive, your bank account grew, regardless of ownership. No one was left out. 2. The anti-inflationary dividend. Every company that reported record profits had to distribute 50% of excess earnings directly to all workers in proportion to hours worked, not just salaries. CEOs still made millions, but suddenly, warehouse workers, janitors, and receptionists were pulling in 6 figures. Number 3. The Automated Labor Compensation Act. With AI and robotics threatening jobs, the government declared, if a machine replaces human labor, a percentage of its output must be paid as wages to displaced workers indefinitely. It meant that instead of job losses leading to poverty, automation led to passive income streams for the average person. Number 4, the wealth floor mechanism. The government no longer just taxed the rich, it set a hard floor on wealth. If your net worth ever dipped below a certain level, equivalent to $1 million in today's dollars, the system automatically topped it up through a blend of public and corporate wealth reserves. Poverty, in any form, ceased to exist. 5. The elimination of usury and passive hoarding. Any money sitting in a bank, hedge fund, or offshore account without active investment in innovation, production, or community development was subject to aggressive taxation. Hoarding was no longer profitable. If you wanted to keep your money, it had to be moving, building, or helping society grow. The unexpected consequences. At first, economists panicked. How could this be sustainable? Wouldn't inflation spiral out of control? Wouldn't businesses collapse? Yet, as weeks passed, something remarkable happened. Instead of crashing, the economy boomed. With vast wealth spread among the majority, spending surged, but not recklessly. People paid off debts, started businesses, invested in education, and fueled industries in ways no one had imagined. Crime plummeted. People worked not because they had to, but because they wanted to. Even formerly hyper-wealthy elites found themselves thriving. After all, their companies were selling to the wealthiest consumer base in history, the 10% who remained outside. Ironically, only 10% of people didn't become rich, not because they were left out, but because they refused to adapt. A small group clung desperately to old financial models, believing that true wealth meant being vastly richer than others. They hoarded, sabotaged, and resisted, trying to claw back their dominance. But the world had changed. The laws had been rewritten, and for the first time in human history, prosperity was not a privilege, it was a baseline. And so, with a strange mix of joy, confusion, and disbelief, people awoke every morning to a new world, one where the question was no longer, how do I survive, but what do I truly want to do with my life?